I have loved our theme for the month, the 4 laws of life. And the first week was the law of infinite possibilities. Last week we talked about the law of giving and receiving. Today is about the law of non-resistance. I think this is the most powerful law in the universe. I think Jesus, who became the Christ, said it best. He said, resist not. Agree with thine adversary quickly. Turn the other cheek. Now, in our culture, it's amazing. Our culture is a very competitive culture. And we want to get there first, and we want to, be the winner, and all of these outer accoutrements that we feel make up our own self-image. However, we are created in the image and likeness of God, and we are told that it is not only good, it is very good. So if we are created in the image and likeness of God, and that we come forth in this energy of knowing who we are, and that we do not have to fight anything, we don't have to push the river upward, none of those things. Agree with thine adversary quickly. What that means is to just turn away from the negative energy. We don't need to give it more power and more energy. We only do that when we feel insecure. When we feel like, I've got to take a stand about, they have disrespected me. We disrespect ourselves if we take it on. The law of non-resistance is allowing life to unfold in a miraculous way. And what I know also in our culture is many times we view kindness as weakness, right? But I love this statement, that if you have a choice of being kind or being right, choose kindness and you will always be right. Because kindness is the energy that lifts the vibratory frequency to that miraculous realm of love. And when I meet, and it says in the Bible that a soft answer turneth away wrath. So as we look at these unfoldments in our world, that when we are tempted to react, that we go within to the secret place of the Most High and we pray to our Father, Mother, God in secret. That is within us. And we are acknowledged openly by the outward demonstrations of our lives. So on this glorious day where we have the opportunity to be together, God bless social media and technology that we can connect in this way. As you are posting your comments and your prayer requests and where you are from, that is allowing us to feel the connection at an even deeper level. And that we made the adjustment through this pandemic. But what I know is our God is bigger than any pandemic. Our God is bigger than any dis-ease. Our God is bigger than whatever is going on the planet. That God hath made man upright. Think about it. It's a biblical verse. God hath made man upright, but man hath sought out many inventions. So we have, our stature is upright. I walk erect, serene, and free, for it is God who walks through me. And when we come from that space of knowing that Spirit goes before us and prepares the way, we become a lamp unto our own feet, drawing others into our energy field. And it's interesting, last year, I went to Amsterdam and I spoke at the Amsterdam Monument for Peace. And it was outdoors and it was just one of those beautiful, beautiful days. And it was really interesting because, in the energy field we were filming. And my beautiful Marion from Amsterdam, Marion Van Dam, is a professional photographer, and she was filming. And there were all of these other things going on. Now, I could have been distracted by that, but I know that I am single-pointed in what I have to say and what my mission and purpose is. So as all these other things were going on in the outer, I stayed connected to the audience, what I had to say, my mission, and my divine purpose. which is to inspire, teach, and heal, to share and expand the experience of love, of our own God consciousness with all creation. And it was really interesting, and I have shared this because I love this. There was a little 3-year-old boy, and he was throwing his hat back and forth, and he was running back and forth right in front of me. I'm giving my talk. Here's the Peace Monument. It's, in all its grandeur, and it's like a huge monument. And this little 3-year-old, he was just throwing his hat, and he was running back and forth. And what I believe is that when things happen in our lives, they happen for a reason. And so I always draw the larger circle and include what is ever going on. So I said, there's this little 3-year-old boy that you are noticing throwing his hat back and forth. And what I know is that this future generation is throwing their hat in the ring. And they're going to rise up and make a difference for world peace. And the truth is, I really believe that. Let's throw our hat in the ring. Let's take a stand. Let's open the space and allow God to do it. God does best by means of each and every one of us who heard the call and answered that call. Many are called, but few answer. Many are chosen. And it's up to us to listen to the still, small voice of God, because God speaks in whispers, and the world is very loud at times. So as we look at the law of non-resistance in turning the other cheek, turning away from the negativity, turning away with what does no longer work or serve us, we just turn away from that. We don't give it energy. We don't add energy to what is not working or the negativity. And when I'm out and about and people start talking about politics and putting down the, current administration and all of that, which I could, throw my hat in the ring as well, I do not participate, because I do not want to add to the energy that I do not want to experience in future generations. And I love the Native Americans that never do anything before they think about how will this affect the 7th generation? How will what I'm doing in this moment affect the 7th generation? I do not add to that consciousness. I made a vow to myself. I want to work on what works in the world. I want social justice. I want equality. I want the energy that allows us to, when we see someone on the street and they have their little basket out or their hat out, and they've got the little sign that I'm homeless, I always give. And I had a friend once say, oh, they'll just go out and buy some booze. And I said, that's none of my business. My business is that there was an opportunity to allow the law of circulation to move through and to give to this soul. There, but for the grace of God, go I. That we are connected to every living thing. And everything that's going on the planet is part of the collective unconsciousness or the collective consciousness. The good things we do are born of God. That influence lives on forever. If you do something good, just know that good things I do are born of God. That influence lives on forever. Not, oh, all of it I gave and this is the thanks I got. That's being a victim. And we know there are no victims, only volunteers. All the martyr stories about, get off the cross. We need the wood. That's just the truth of the matter, right? And that martyrdom and all this victimhood, it does not serve the greater consciousness on the planet. What serves is taking responsibility for our lives. And when I was in Amsterdam and we went to the Anne Frank house, it was eerie. And the Buddhists have a saying about that there is a divine emptiness in certain things. And as I went through the Anne Frank house, I felt that energy. When I was 14 years old, I did a book report on the diary of Anne Frank. I received an A+. And in that book report, I had a photograph that was in the newspaper at that time. Now, I was born in 1944, during the war. And so, I carry that energy with me as well. And I believe that being raised in domestic violence allowed me to take a stand for world peace. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. With God as our Father, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. There's no one else out there, gang. It starts where we are in our own consciousness. And as I walked through the Anne Frank house, I felt that energy. I felt that divine emptiness. I could feel what was going on. I could feel the blessing of the Amsterdam family that took in the Frank family. I could feel the energy of love that passed between Anne and her family. And when we feel these feelings, we carry them with us. And that everyone and anyone who comes within our energy field is healed and uplifted in our presence. And the one statement that she made in her diary was, I believe in the sun even when it's not shining. I believe in love even when not feeling it. I believe in God even when he is silent. How many of us can say that? A 14-year-old girl. And she was cloistered in an attic. And in this attic, there were other people. They were all crammed in there together like sardines. And we hear the complaints of, that we're cloistered in and we can't go anywhere and we got to wear these masks. That's just wisdom, to wear the mask when we're out. We're here in my Rose of Sharon sanctuary. We're family. So we don't wear the mask when we're in the sacredness of my own home. I want to be very clear about that. And I always tell everyone that enters in, we only accept friendly bacteria where we are in this sacred space. And someone said to me, well, the coronavirus doesn't know that. It just, floats around and you can breathe it in. I said, but the light does know that. The light penetrates the darkness comprehendeth it not, and shadows flee away forever and ever and ever. Let's be spiritual beings. Let's use wisdom when we're out in the world. Jesus said, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. And so on this day, where we recognize, yes, we've been cloistered for 6 months, not a couple of years, 6 months. And let's be grateful. Let's have gratitude for our blessings. We awakened this morning. We took our first conscious breath. We put our foot on the ground and we didn't think, oh, is gravity going to be there for me? No, we knew that gravity would be there for us as we put our foot on the ground and we got out of bed and we went about our daily round. Now, Lao Tzu, who was 500 years before Jesus, had a statement. And he is the founder of the Tao. The Tao means the way. It's a beautiful, you can buy the book on Amazon.com. It's the Taoist way. And he had this word, there's a Chinese word, wei wo, and it means non-striving. That if we let go and we acknowledge that there's a power, a presence, an energy in the universe that goes before us and prepares the way, we become the lamp unto our own feet. And so this wei wu, non-striving, I don't have to keep on with this pressure, feeling the pressure and all of the things that go with that. Right? I need to let go. I need to breathe. Let's just all take a deep cleansing breath. I let go and let God do what God does best by means of me. And that as we acknowledge this morning that we don't have to fight the river, we don't need to swim upstream, we do need to take a stand on the truth that sets us free to be who and what we are. When we take responsibility for our lives, remember the twin of responsibility is freedom. We have the freedom to live and move and have our being in the world, but of a higher vibratory frequency. When I was in Amsterdam, my friend who is a retired MD, her name is Dr. Elizabeth von Gulick, and she wanted me to go to Mass with her when I was staying with her. And I am a graduated Catholic, not recovering, graduated. I received so much from the Catholic Church. I adored Father Falvey. He even, used to come to the house when I was in catechism, and we would go through all of the lessons. And he would always say to me, "You're a Grace Kelly, not a Marilyn Monroe. You're a Grace Kelly." And of course, we have Catlin Day, who's probably viewing our wonderful service today, who is a Marilyn Monroe look-alike, and she does Marilyn when we have our wonderful programs that our Prince Fleet Easton presents on our anniversaries and birthdays and special occasions. So she does a fabulous job, but he always used to tell me that. And it was so very sweet. And I love the mysticism within Catholicism. And I love that, at Fatima, the children saw the Holy Mother. And they began, she said, drink of the spring, which was muddy water. And all of the villagers thought that Bernadette was crazy, that she's drinking this muddy water. But the more she drank and the more she allowed herself to experience the water, it cleared. And it became a beautiful body of water, where all the villagers began to believe that there was a blessing of the Holy Mother. And while I was at the Catholic Church, Dr. Elizabeth wanted to do the rosary. And having been Catholic, it was really interesting. I don't speak Dutch. And so I had a little resistance in even going, because I don't speak Dutch. But I want you to know the cathedral is so beautiful that I went up, I kneeled down, I lit a candle for Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, all of our community. And then I moved from the community to the planet, and of course my own personal family and my extended family. And that as we got into the cadence of the rosary, I didn't speak the language, but I felt the energy of it. And I began saying it in English, what they were saying in Dutch. "Hail Mary, full of grace, blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus." And I got into this cadence, this energy, and began in English what they were saying in Dutch, because I tuned in to the energy field. When we tune into the energy field, it transcends language. It transcends color. It transcends race. It transcends sexual orientation. It transcends political affiliation. We only feel our oneness. And when we feel this oneness, and this is our message, and this is a powerful message of universal oneness that moves beyond color, race, creed, sexual orientation, and political affiliation. That we get into the cadence of a higher vibratory frequency, and we come and live from that octave. And as we live from that higher octave, everyone and anyone who comes within our energy field is healed and uplifted in our presence. And you know that I say every Sunday that right now somewhere in the world a Jew is saying her prayers, a Hindu is chanting a mantra, and a Buddhist is kneeling at her sacred shrine. Right now, at this very moment, someone is lighting a candle in a cathedral. Someone is making their Hajj toward Mecca, for it is the will of Allah. And yet someone else is lighting a fire in a jungle, repeating an ancient mystical drama. Many, many pathways up the mountaintop, and the view is always the same from the summit. Let's go with Laotse, that wonderful energy of non-striving. Let's go with Jesus the Christ, who said, "Resist not. Agree with thine adversary quickly. Turn the other cheek from what no longer serves you. Turn the other cheek for what no longer is appropriate in your life. Turn the other cheek from the negativity. And know, I am in perfect peace. My mind is stayed on thee. My mind is stayed on what is life-giving and life-affirming. This is where my attention goes. I surrender to the process of non-resistance, knowing there's so much power and strength in that, rather than fighting what no longer works, fighting the negativity. I know that the best means of transportation these days is what? A leap of faith. Let's make that leap of faith. Let's embody these spiritual principles. Let's acknowledge the law of infinite possibilities that are there for us. Blessed are they who have eyes that see, who have ears that hear, right? And the law of giving and receiving. Ask, and you will receive. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and the door is opened unto you. For they that asketh what? They receive. And they that seek it, they find. And they that knock at the door is opened unto them from within. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man, woman hear my voice, let them answer, and I will come into them and sup with them, and they with me. In other words, we are communing with Spirit, with God, whatever we conceive our higher power to be. It doesn't matter what you call it. But as we are practicing the presence of God, and everyone else in their own pathway up the mountaintop, whatever their religion is, whatever their spiritual persuasion is, if it's working, there's kindness. If it's working, there's love. And I have a great handyman named Greg. And he was here, and he was fixing some things. And he said, I'm going to a birthday party, and all my family are fundamentalist Christians. And it's really strange, he said, because my mother now, she's like almost 90. And she'll ask something, and they're so impatient. They just say, well, we just told you. Aren't you listening? He said, my God, she's almost 90. Give her a break. Aren't you a Christian? And, it's really interesting. When Gandhi was asked what he thought of Christianity, you know what he answered? I think it would be a very good idea. But I have not seen anyone that really practices their Christianity. I actually have. And I bless you. And those that have drawn the larger circle and include us and don't think that we're the work of the devil because we don't believe as you believe. We believe that we're all one. We believe that love is the strongest healing power in the universe. We believe in God. We believe that Jesus was the great avatar, teacher, and savior of the world because he knew who he was and said, I and my Father are one. We believe that Lord Buddha was the Son of God. He said, man, woman is the result of all that they have thought. We believe that Muhammad was the messenger that had this amazing download of information. He was illiterate. And suddenly he came out. And what did he do? He transcribed the Quran. Beautiful. With God, all things are possible. Let's open the space. Let's let go and let God do what God does best by means of each and every one of us who heard the call and answered, because we're all going somewhere. Do you know where that is? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. Because we are in a high place and we will not come down. None of these outer things move us. We are in a high place and we will not come down. I say to you, namaste. The God in me salutes the God in you, and the God in you salutes the God in me. And if I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there is only one of us. I say shalom, the peace that passes all understanding. And God bless us, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Know that I love you, I'm grateful for you, and I really do know that this way of life makes a difference. And as you go your way this week, just let go, resist not, and feel the power and the presence of love.